Thank you for joining us tonight on Fear Consortium, your sanctuary of terror. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. The Holy Family Orphanage in Marquette, Michigan is widely considered one of the most haunted locations in the region, with a reputation built on decades of alleged tragedy, cruelty, and paranormal activity. The orphanage opened in 1915 and became the largest in the Upper Peninsula, housing up to 200 children at a time. Many of the early orphans were Native American children forcibly removed from their families to assimilate them into white culture, a process marked by trauma and loss of heritage. Reports from former residents suggest cruel punishments and abuse at the hands of the nuns. These stories include accounts of harsh beatings, unsettling discipline, and general mistreatment of the children. Built at the urging of Bishop Frederick Innes, the facility cost around $120,000 at the time, equivalent to millions today. The building also housed Cuban child refugees in the 1960s and was briefly repurposed by Northern Michigan University. Some survivors of the orphanage later came forward with chilling memories of isolation rooms, icy winters without coats, and public shaming as part of their discipline. Locals over the years told of distant relatives and friends adopted from the orphanage who never learned of their native roots until decades later. New evidence from regional church records suggests that admissions procedures were often vague with little oversight, a factor experts believe contributed to the abuse and neglect that occurred behind closed doors. Survivors also described overcrowding, poor nutrition, lack of medical care, and uncomfortable silence about the deaths of their fellow orphans, many of which were never reported publicly. Several oral histories also describe unexplained disappearances. Former residents recalled hearing whispers of children being sent away in the night, never to return, details that were never properly investigated. It's said that at least 2 small-scale influenza outbreaks in the 1920s and 30s may have taken more lives inside the orphanage than publicly acknowledged. Children who became too sick to recover were sometimes placed in isolated quarters upstairs and allegedly forgotten there until their death. One rarely spoken of letter penned by a nurse who briefly worked there in the 1940s described a chapel filled with weeping and fear, and little feet echoing during morning prayers, even when no children were present. The most persistent legend involves a little girl who died of pneumonia after sneaking outside to play in cold weather. It is said that as a warning, her body was left on display in the lobby to frighten the other children, a story corroborated in part by some former orphans. Another tale tells of a young boy who died under mysterious circumstances, possibly beaten to death and then hidden in the basement. Some claim that his spirit manifests as a glowing green orb in the basement. Paranormal investigators and trespassers have reported unexplained phenomena, hearing children crying in the lobby, seeing lights flitting through the windows at night, witnessing a baby carriage rolling across the floor on its own, and detecting sudden cold spots accompanied by foul smells. Mediums and sensitives report a lingering energy that feels oppressively sad or like a thick fog of grief. One investigative team picked up disembodied laughter from empty hallways and recorded a voice whispering, "Help me," during a basement EVP session. Some claim to have seen shadows moving against the walls, often accompanied by a drop in temperature and a strong scent of antiseptic or musty linen. New accounts reveal sightings of apparitions peeking from upper floor windows, even when the building stood empty for decades. Some explorers reported hearing rosary beads clicking behind locked chapel doors and seeing hymnals burst open on their own. Investigators conducting overnight stays have had fully charged equipment die suddenly, heard doors slam in unison, and captured temperature readings as low as 28 degrees, indoors on otherwise warm nights. Multiple investigators have described seeing a small barefoot girl in a hospital gown wandering the hallways before disappearing near the chapel entry. Others claim they've heard lullabies being sung in empty rooms or smelled baby powder despite no residents being home. At least 2 different paranormal groups reported discovering what appeared to be tiny soot handprints on walls and windows the morning after an overnight session, found in locations they had thoroughly cleaned before setting up cameras. Many reports center around the outdoor grounds of the property as well. Local children who lived nearby in later years swore they saw barefoot children in old-fashioned clothes walking along the tree line or crying out faintly for their mothers, only to vanish as they approached. Some groundskeepers even claimed to find small, unexplained footprints in the fresh snow, long after the building was abandoned. In one chilling 2006 account, a pair of tourists found a doll buried under a small makeshift wooden cross near the rear fence line. When they returned the next day, the items were gone, but their car was mysteriously scratched, and all 4 tires were flat. A now defunct Marquette blog from the early internet era claimed one former firefighter reported seeing shadowy figures playing outside the front steps during a passing call, only for his dashcam footage to show nothing where the figures had stood. A former maintenance worker claimed to have seen an apparition of a nun at sunrise, standing in the second-floor hallway silently watching him before vanishing. A group of students from Northern Michigan University exploring the site in the 1990s described hearing clapping and footsteps echoing from the dormitories when no one else was inside. Photos taken at night have revealed mysterious orbs, misty figures, and a transparent child's face in the window of what used to be the nursery. EVP's electronic voice phenomena have captured children humming nursery rhymes, and one chilling capture repeated the word "punished" over and over again at varying volumes. A seasoned ghost hunter claims to have captured thermal images of tiny handprints forming on cold glass during a winter investigation. No children were present. In another case, a paranormal team reported a rocking chair on the top floor moving rhythmically for nearly 10 minutes without any wind or vibration present, recorded entirely on camera. Several visitors have testified to being followed by the sound of light footsteps and have left the building with fresh scratches that appeared hours later. An amateur filmmaker shooting a documentary on abandoned properties once claimed to hear knocking rhythms, responding to his voice as he walked through the old stairwell. Audio from his first day was strangely erased when he played back the tape, even though he never hit record a second time. Urban legends claim that secret rituals were performed in the basement by rogue clergy, though no historical evidence confirms these stories. However, strange symbols and scorched floors were found during inspections before renovation, fanning the flames of occult theories. According to local lore, a sealed room behind one of the upper floor closets allegedly contained toys, clothing, and a broken crucifix, untouched for over 40 years. More speculative rumors speak of a hidden diary found during renovation, allegedly written by a child who describes the shadows taking other children away during the night. Though unconfirmed, these rumors persist on ghost forums and local lore blogs. Another legend mentions a locked trunk discovered during construction containing small bones, dolls missing their heads, and what appeared to be personal notes written in Latin, immediately removed from public view by the developers. The building's original bell was said to chime twice at midnight on certain days in March, marking the anniversary of a child's suicide in the bell tower, though no official record validates this incident. The orphanage closed in 1967, stood abandoned for decades, and became a hotspot for ghost hunters and thrill seekers. In 2017, the building was renovated into affordable apartments, but stories of its haunted past and supernatural happenings continue to this day. Renovation was completed in 2018 at a cost of nearly $16 million. Though structurally sound, sub-residents claim strange dreams, flickering lights, and uneasy feelings after moving in. Neighbors have reported seeing flickers of candlelight in rooms with no residents, doors opening and closing by themselves, and eerie chants heard late at night. Marquette tour guides and local ghost walks continue to include the orphanage in their most requested stops. A resident interviewed anonymously in 2021 paranormal podcast claimed they had repeated dreams of a crying girl at the foot of their bed whispering, "I want to go home," every time at exactly 2:13 a.m. Another resident claims to have awoken to see the faint silhouette of a child standing in their bathroom doorway, dripping wet, as though she'd been caught in the freezing rain, only to disappear when the resident turned on the light. The combination of its dark history, documenting stories of abuse, and enduring ghost legends has cemented the Holy Family Orphanage's status as a haunted landmark in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Thanks for spending your night with us here on Fear Consortium. Remember, the truth may haunt you, but the legends already have. Sleep tight. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode of Fear Consortium.